who's been like in trial. Like there's a I heard she's doing a documentary for Russell Simmons for some reason, and I know she was behind the Michael Jackson um documentary, and I think they had a little after show where they talked about it a lot. So like people like 50 Cent called her out about like trying to make black men the face of pedophilia and all that. Do you think 50 Cent have a point about that, or yeah, I think they're reaching?
Hmm. I would have to see what he actually said.
Well,
But
in my opinion, the thing about it is these motherfuckers like they fucked up, right? We all know R. Kelly deserves to go. You know, Russell
mhm,
Simmons, I don't know much about his situation.
mhm,
I got to do more research on that. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. I wasn't there. And I think that's the problem of most people, like that's looking at the details and shit like that. You wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? I'm not calling her a liar. I'm not saying that, she's fabricating the story. It's alleged that he did it. And it's only alleged because the only person that really know what happened is him and her. So for us to like try to fucking put in a little magnifying glass and try and research this shit like we was actually there, stop capping. Like you wasn't there. At the very end of the day, all we can do is speculate whether he did it or not. You know what I'm saying?
mhm,
There's so much we can actually retain in these situations to where it would, like what we believe isn't necessarily what is going to, make a motherfucker go to jail or not. Because whole time it could have been blown out of proportion. Maybe he didn't intend to sexually assault her. Again, we don't know. We wasn't there. So when we're talking about these things, we kind of have to take it with a little bit of a grain of salt. Not saying that the situation isn't serious or anything like that, but if you come to me and you're trying to convince me that somebody touched you, I'm gonna do whatever I can to support you. I'm gonna do whatever I can to elevate your voice. If that's something that you really feel strongly about, you want to see that man put to justice, fine, I'll support you. But it wouldn't be a matter of me believing you or not because I wasn't there. I can't say whether he did it or not. And I think that most people need to have that kind of mindset. We're gonna look at both sides, and when the investigation comes out and whoever and who did what comes out, then we'll know by then. But another thing that makes it even more like strange is how exactly do you prosecute that type of thing? If someone told you, oh, 10 years ago he touched me inappropriately, how exactly would you investigate that? You know what I'm saying? Because at
mhm,
that point it's just he said, she said. So it's not that these people aren't getting put in jail for, just them being men or just being in a position of power. How exactly do you investigate something that happened 10 years ago when it's something like, oh, he grabbed my butt 10 years ago? You feeling what I'm saying? And again, that's
mhm,
not saying whether she's lying or not. That's not the point. The point is if that woman or that man is going to get the support to come forward and have a space to relay their experience, and what you would do with that information, you do as you please. But in the case of Oprah and her saying and saying or putting like a spotlight on black men specifically, I can see how that's kind of weird. But if they did it, or if it's something that has been highlighted in the past before, maybe her bringing it out may not be a bad thing. Maybe it's something that we do need to talk about or address, because I've seen plenty Harvey Weinstein in the fucking papers. I've seen, Kevin Spacey was popping for a little bit, but then the accuser died, and people aren't talking about it for whatever reason. I think that's kind of strange. I think we do need to talk about that. What else? There was that dude from Two and a Half Men, Charlie Sheen. He was doing fuck shit. I heard about him. So I don't think they're necessarily making black men the face of pedophilia. It's just that because of our unique history and how we've been slandered for so long, any type of criticism from like outside or any type of criticism in general is gonna feel like oppression again, because we've done
mhm.
dealt with it so much and we know how it feels so much that even criticism looks like it. So we're gonna react. You feel me? But I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing that she's bringing it out, because if it's something we need to talk about, then all right, let's talk about it then. But I don't know. I'm like neutral on it. Like, if we're gonna have the conversation, let's have the conversation and let's have fucking solutions instead of capping on social media and crying because they're not getting locked up. That's just how I
Hmm. I think it just stems from a lot of people. Some people, I don't know. I notice when it comes to Oprah, the black community is split on her. There tend to be some who don't like her. I remember my grandmother didn't like her. I can't remember why she said she didn't like it, but she didn't like Oprah too much. But yeah, see that back and forth, and I think that's the problem. I think that's some of it. I know when she got that award a couple of years ago, forgot what it was, and some dude made a video about her, and he said, but three of the things he said were like inaccurate. Because Sidney Poitier got the award. He was the first black person to get the award. But he got the award back in like 1960 something, and Oprah was like a 10-year-old girl. And she said, and I think one of the things she said was, seeing him get it for the first time, what I'm saying, made it feel really special. The dude said, and the dude tried to say, oh, because your white friend, he wanted one of your white friends or something. He said something, but it was completely wrong. Like, when Sidney Poitier got the award, she was 10. She was about 10. And the dude just twisted her words in a different way. He tried to talk about the Me Too movement, saying it was a white woman movement, but didn't know that it was started by a black woman. Yeah, he just had a lot of inaccurate stuff about it. And I think that's I'm just saying, I think that's one of the things. There are people who just don't like Oprah, and I guess anytime she do something, they're gonna come for her. Like the people do.
Oh,
Go ahead.
my bad.
No, go ahead.
I found what 50 Cent said. Just so for you to know. He said, I don't understand why Oprah is going after black men. Then he said, no Harvey Weinstein, no Epstein, no Michael, uh, no Harvey Weinstein, no Epstein, just Michael Jackson and Russell Simmons. This shit is sad. That's what he said.
Mm.
And then something about every time I listen to Michael Jackson, I don't know whether to dance or think about him touching little boys' butts. But I think that was just him being
50 Cent.
comical. Yeah, that's what 50 Cent.
Um, the fuck?
I mean, I do agree. She has not touched on those subjects. But when you bump elbows with certain people, do you put them on blast?
Hmm.
Honestly, that's a good question because I know it seems like anytime you see her with Weinstein, it's like her kissing on his cheek and they look very buddy buddy. So I'm pretty sure she's like, I think she's just being silent because that's her friend. And
I think that happened with somewhat of R. Kelly too, because he know who be doing stuff too, but he ain't be snitching. He just be like, "Why don't y'all cover me? I've been covering for y'all."
I don't know. Personally, I've always had thoughts about this because I've been saying there are two documentaries on R. Kelly.
I don't think. Okay, no. Are you talking about the part 2 or literally 2 separate ones?
There are 2 separate ones.
No, I think you're talking about the part 2.
The Surviving R. Kelly part 2.
I think they're all the same thing, just broken up, just for suspense.
Mm-hmm.
So this split in 2 seasons.
Just trying to make some money.
Oh, like
I think they did. I feel like
trying to
I think they did it all at once, and they just separated it.
Yeah, I thought it was the same thing, just in 2 parts, but I don't know if it's different people.
Yeah, they did different people, but it's just the same thing because if you look at the people's clothes, look at Andrea. Yeah, and then honestly, because like no one really cares at this point. No, I'm not trying to be funny either.
We know you
Like,
guys.
I know you not. I know you not. But I'm laughing in agreement.
yeah, like no one cares anymore. They're just like either send him to jail or just leave him alone. Like we don't care anymore because
like
we
the only
want you all
updates
to
that we
send him to
got
jail.
for
How
was
long
like,
now?
oh, now his sister wives were fighting on IG Live.
I watched that too. I thought that was hilarious. I don't know why. I busted out laughing when I watched that too.
Oh,
And if
I
I
was
was a
cracking up.
judge,
I'm like, wait a minute. So is he in jail or not? And these two just sitting here fighting. I'm like, well,
and this is why I can't be a judge because at this point I'm sitting here like, okay, well you're throwing out that she had sex with a minor, like it's so easy, breezy, beautiful. I'm throwing your case out because you ain't affected like that. Because the way you're using it, you're not even using it like as if you were so ashamed and so hurt that she had sex with a minor. I'm like, since you think it's a game, your case is getting thrown out. No one feels bad for you. You get no alimony. You get no nothing. I said, because half of y'all just be out here just for the attention. All of a sudden now, you want to start spilling tea.
they only spilling
I
it
feel
because
the
they
same
mad.
way.
So when somebody asks them a question, they ain't got
Honestly,
no
Xavier,
information.
I feel the same way. I said, if you thought he was a bad person, you should have came